Welcome everyone to the G-Lew Show Friday night live after hours show. I am G-Lew, your host with the most. Tonight we got a very, very special guest, my brother. A lot of people that follow me and follow this channel probably already know the homie. See him always on the scene in the chats doing his thing. He's had a previous couple great interviews, one with Jennifer Magana on Convicted Hearts. You should go check out as well. But we're gonna have my homeboy Visionz right after this. Stay tuned, y'all. It's the G-Lew Show Friday night live. Let's go.
It's two-step and two-step up like this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. Goddamn, homie, here we go again. I know I said it before, but I'ma say it again. It's G-Lew D West on that digital G shit. Just like Corrupted, we coming to freak this. Just like Heathcliff, I'm a cool cat. In a doggy dog world, why must I be like that? I don't know why, seems like I gotta stay fly. And after so many years in the game, I'm still that guy. All they say is try, but they still can't see G. Started from the bottom, now I stand like 6 feet tall. Couldn't wait my chance to ball. Went from banging in the halls to slanging 8 balls. Then I got the call. It's time to take this shit to another level, so I had to fall back. Now one more.
Yo. Once again, everyone, welcome to the G-Lew Show After Hours Friday Night Live. I am G-Lew, and we are back for another dope episode of Friday night interviews. You know what I mean? Hope everyone's had a great week out there. Everyone's doing good. Well, shout out to my producer, DD Hairston, making things happen. Shout out to our sponsor, Street Level Clothing, and the Patio Politics. Also, shout out to everyone in the chat. What's up, ladies? Shout out to Elliot Delgado, Brenda Love, Lena Lokes. What up, Lena? Keisha, what's up? Keisha, Love Grace. All the ladies in the chat, much love and respect. But like I was saying, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this party started. I got a very special guest. My boy, he's coming from the northern area of California. I'm gonna just let him come in and introduce himself. We have my homeboy Visionz. Boy deserves a round of applause. What's up, my boy? How you doing, homie?
I'm good, Jay. How you been?
Good, man. Good to see you, brother.
It's likewise, brother. Is my audio sound good?
Yes, sir. I can hear you good.
All right, that's what's up.
I hope everyone can hear you. Thumbs up if the audio is good. But yeah, this is my brother. I know, like I said, a lot of people probably already know you that follow my channel. But for ones who don't know you, introduce yourself, brother.
So what's up, everybody? So a lot of y'all might know me and all of y'all might not, but I go by the name of Visionz. You know, I've been on YouTube for the last year, maybe a little more. And I'm trying to stay on the positivity tip.
Righteous. And yeah, like the things that you do, like first and foremost, I never thought I gotta give my boy his props. You know, I always give him his credit. I don't think it's anyone that's flyer than me. But my guy here, you know, he comes pretty close, man. You know what I mean? I respect my homeboy's fashion vision. You know what I mean? Your whole get down, you stay fresh and fly. You know what I mean?
Right. I appreciate it.
And a stand-up guy, man. But on the flip side of that, you do some incredible work, man. You work with kids and do a lot, which we're gonna get it all into. But can you give the people somewhat of a breakdown of what you do, bro?
Yeah, so you know, I've been working with a school district for the last 8 years, and so I work with kindergarten through 6th grade. You know, I've done some working with junior high students, but they're a little more challenging. So I like working with the little ones because, you know, a lot of them, they come from environments and circumstances that I grew up under. And
Right.
so, you know, I deal with a lot of kids that have behaviors, and then once you get to dive into, you know, their home life and the things that they're going through, I could relate,
Right.
you know. And so, and I love it, man. It is stressful, but it's also rewarding.
Right. What do you think what has been some of your biggest challenges doing what you do? Like, I don't know, you may have been like, because you have to, I'm sure, have patience and then just
Oh,
all that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, so you gotta, one thing I learned is when I first got into this field, um, I didn't think that I was gonna be in this field that long, but you gotta have patience. And I had a kid. I had my first daughter when I was 16, going on 17 years old. And so, being a young parent, like, you gotta have patience with kids. It's just that's just what it is. But working with kids on a daily, you gotta understand that some of them, they come from different backgrounds. Not all kids are brought up in the same environment. Some, they're brought up under, harsh circumstances and whatnot. And so it is challenging when you get those kids with behavior issues, because some of them, I mean, they're gonna give you a run for your money. But I learned not to judge them. You got to understand they're coming from where environments where they're being neglected. They might be missing a father figure, and a lot of them, man, they just want attention. And
right,
so you start to build relationships with them, and you start to build rapport with them, and they end up being dope kids, man. They just want to be loved.
right,
And and I can relate to a lot of them. So because it's easy for someone to say, "I went to college, you got a degree," well, that's cool, but it don't mean you know anything.
right.
You know what I mean? But if you could relate and share your experiences with these kids, then you could set pretty much forth an intervention plan and how we're gonna get these kids to be successful. And that's what I'm in it for.
Right, right. Dope. Um, if you could go back, like because I heard some of your story when you did the interview with Convicted Hearts. Shout out to Convicted Hearts. The homie did a real dope interview over there. Go check it out if you can. But you told about your story. I was gonna ask you, you could touch on that if you want a little bit, but how you came up and like you said, the issues and your father and all that. Do you think all of that helped you to first be a great father, be a better father, and and then want to work with kids and all that whole thing with the kids?
Yeah, like me growing up, I grew up under some very traumatic circumstances. I lost my mom at a young age when I was 9. She died of cancer, and growing up, as a child, I had a pretty much, I would say it was a good childhood. After she passed away, then my whole world crumbled, and it took a turn. It was just different. I wasn't expecting that. And my pops, he got into drugs, heroin addict. He was alcoholic. Whatever he get his hands on, he was getting high.
Right,
And so, anyways, he was incarcerated, and so my siblings, we all got separated. And from the time I was 11 years old till 24, he was in prison, in and out. And I remember going to visit him in prison, and and I looked at him and I said, man, like, I can't take advice from someone that I don't want to be like in life. You know what I mean? And so I've always had that mentality. And so I just wanted something different for myself. Now I'm not gonna say I didn't make any bad choices. I was in the streets, I was homeless. But going through those experiences, it made me realize, like, that's not the life that I want. Because I knew how to follow my pop's footsteps. I was probably gonna make a career out of being in prison, and that's not what I wanted. And my daughter, she saved my life. Because I got caught up in the wrong crowd, and found myself in life and death situations. And so I realized, like, you keep playing in the streets, man, and they got an expiration date for sure.
right.
Ain't nobody safe out there. So it kind of changed my mindset as I got older. Once I had my daughter, then I realized, like, I got something else to live for. I can't be selfish.
Man, um, how was it for you? When did you become a father young, or like were you ready for fatherhood when it happened to you? Like, how did you take that initially?
When I first heard the news, now the funny, well, it's not funny, because nowadays, we live in a sensitive time where people, it's not like how when we grew up. Um, but like, I was only, what, 16, and the mother of my child, she was 27.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I was chasing the cougars when I was young. But but it was,
I wasn't ready.
it was a little different. And so I realized, I said, because, if you think about it, 16 years old, you're still a child. It's a baby having a baby.
Right.
And so, it was rough at first, but um, it's kind of what pulled me off the street, but I still had one leg in the street and one leg trying to do, um, something different.
Right.
But it was definitely a challenge, and it was also a blessing at the same time. Like, I always feel like God works a certain way and He puts people in your path, at the right time.
Right. Yeah. But being that your your baby mother was like older, did she help you? Like obviously she was more mature. Was she kind of more ready? I don't know if she had kids or how did she help you? Like being that you were young, and I mean, how did everyone? Hold up. I'm thinking about this now. Hold up. How did everyone else take this? Now I'm thinking about this shit, bro. How did everyone else, like your family and all that? How
Like,
did you keep?
well, I didn't really, I didn't really have too much family around. Like the ones that I did, like my older, like my siblings, because see, I was always kept to myself as a kid. I was always I was always more mature for my age. And as long as I knew my siblings were taken care of, cool. But I had some family members like, yo, this girl should be in jail. But I said no. It's I had told, because she had a little girl.
Nowadays, you already know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but if the tables would have been turned, oh, my ass would have been in jail, the whole nine. But you know, I had some people that were opposed to it. There was a lot of people opposed to it, and they were like, I mean, at the time I thought it was cool. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that shit was it was crazy. It wasn't a good it wasn't a good look. I tell you that.
Right.
But she had a kid. She had a little girl, and she was probably about 1 years old. And so, I was there for her daughter and pretty much raised her. So I kind of knew already, like, I had the feel of what it was to be a father, but now it was different because this one was actually mine. I mean, I treated the other one like it was mine, but it's just different when it's your own kid.
Right. Wow. So at this time, like you said, is this time your father's away? I take it at this time, and your mother had passed. I mean, you have siblings as well. How did you guys come together as family, or was everyone kind of like, how did that work with your siblings?
Yeah, I stayed away. Like my siblings, they lived with the aunt. She took one of my aunts took them in, and she actually took me in for a little bit. But I didn't want to live by no discipline and no kind of structure.
Right.
So I was hanging out, with the older cats on the street, and I never really got into my brothers and my dad and my uncles. Most of the male figures in my family, they were involved in gangs. And my older brother, he would always put me up on gangs and explain the politics and the get down, and how it started, inside the prison system.
Right.
And so as I got to know a little bit more about it, it wasn't my thing. Like, I just didn't understand, this group hates this group for wearing red and blue, vice versa. But it is what it is. It's the politics. And so I didn't understand it. I was turned on to the people that were, selling dope.
Right.
I seen the cats with the cars and jewelry and the nice kicks, and I said, that's what I want.
Right.
But my siblings were, they were taken care of, and once I knew that they were taken care of, then that's when I hit the streets and just did my thing. But we kept in contact every now and then. But I was always one that everybody was always looking for, like, where's my brother? Where's E? And if you find me, you find me. If not, I'll pop up every now and then.
Right. You were kind of the black sheep or the black child. You know how that
For sure. Yeah.
Right. I feel you, bro. I can relate. What was it for you? I don't know if I don't hear about you doing any time or whatnot, but what was it? What was a turning point, or what was one turn? Because I'm sure you're young, you still went through a lot of things, even when you thought you changed. But what was, if any, a turning point for you, or something that obviously woke you up?
For me, so I like, if any of you guys watched if you guys watched the interview that I did with Convicted Hearts, and shout out to Jim, man, that's a dope soul right there.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Jim
you
McGahey.
know, Yeah, and so we got a little bit into that, and I shared some, opened up and shared some things that normally, I wouldn't. I got to feel comfortable, and sharing certain things. And she's dope people, just like yourself. And so the turning point for me was, I got caught up with some cats who, allegedly they had some ties to a cartel. Now you got to mind now. Remember back in the '90s, you didn't really hear too much about the cartels. They didn't have a stronghold like they do now, but they
Right.
were around. You just didn't really hear about them. And back then we didn't have social media, so that's probably why we didn't hear too much about them.
It
But
wasn't
if you were, but if you were in the streets, you know what it is. So, anyways, I almost lost my life, I some cats. It was about 13, 14 dudes. I'm only 16 at the time, and they tried to kill me. They tried to take me out. They had put some money. They had put some money on a loved one, who was like a brother to me. It was a cousin of mine, and we were just doing business with the wrong people. And they was gunning for me, man. They came at me twice, and they couldn't get to me, and so it made them more pissed off. And so that was a turning point because now my family was starting to, their life was in danger, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to put no one at risk because of things that I was doing. So for me, that was a turning point, and then my daughter came, and so I said, now I no longer have to be um, selfish because I got something else to live for, and I believe that was the blessing from the man up above. Because I knew had I stayed in the street doing things that I was doing, it's only two places I'm gonna end up, and neither one of them is gonna be fun.
right, right. Facts. Facts. So, what was there like? Was there help for you? Like, because obviously you can't just go from whatever to make that transition. Was there help for you? What were you? What programs or people or something that drove you to do better? Get straight, maybe work or however you were getting your money, whatever the whole get down.
Yeah, I landed a job. Eventually, me and my daughter's mom, we we moved. We didn't move too far away, but we moved out of town that I was living in, and
Right.
where all this chaos was ensuing. And for me, I didn't really, I couldn't really lean on a program as a crutch for me because I believe like if you want to change, it starts in here. Like you got to be willing to change. Like, and for me, um, I couldn't go because I was never really, I experienced with drugs when I was younger. I
Okay.
experienced with drugs. I experienced with different things. But it was always it was never like one of them situations where I was, stealing from family or out here being scamless. You know, um, you gotta admit that you gotta have it. And it don't matter if it's drugs, gambling, sex, whatever. Everybody's addicted to something, you know. But for me, it was just changing my mentality, so changing the people that I was surrounding myself with, because I learned at a young age that not everybody is for everybody,
Right.
if that makes sense. You
Yes.
know,
Absolutely.
and one thing that I learned also was that if you're not surrounding yourself with positive people that are uplifting you, giving you constructive criticism, and you can take it. In other words, they're gonna pull you aside and say, "Look, you're fucking up." Um, that they don't need to be around you, and I can't be around people who ain't gonna teach me anything. If we're gonna be around each other and you're still doing the same things that you were doing years ago, I mean, what do we got to talk about?
Facts. Facts. Wow. So, during your transition, like, what was it? I mean, of course, I'm sure it took for you to get where you are like now, but what were the steps you were taking? Like, what was your drive now to say, I want to do whatever it is, positive.
I think it was more of my pops.
Okay.
Like it was like when I did go visit him. I seen that type of environment, and I said, if I keep going down this same road, I'm gonna be just like him, and that's not what I wanted for myself, because I always knew that I was capable of doing the right things, just like everybody. We're all good at something. We just got to find we just got to find that drive and that motivation.
Right.
And so, we moved away. I got a job, and I said, I feel better making honest money, than getting the money off of the streets.
Right.
Um, stealing cars and all that, because eventually it's gonna catch up to you. I don't care what nobody said. You could be you could do it for 10 years, and it ain't worth looking at 20.
Right. Facts. Facts. Um, Shout out to your pops. How did so you said even just going to see him, did he talk to you about that too? Like personally, did you guys have a a better relationship, or how was your relationship being that he was locked up? You were out here trying to figure it out. Was there any advice
Yeah.
to give you?
You know what? I looked at it like I didn't really have any respect from him, and when I say that, I mean it in a way like you can't give me advice about how to be a man and how I should, transition out here when
Right.
you're on when you're on the inside, because he was in and out of prison my whole life growing up. So to me, I looked at him like, you made the choice in life. You can't tell me how to be a man. But he always kept it positive, and he always said, "This is a place. It's not for you. I don't wish this for you." And I looked at it like, "Well, you got to take your own advice." you know. And but he's now we got a good relationship. The last bid that he did about 9.5, almost 10 years. He was in Corcoran prison, so when he got out, me and him, we hated each other. We went through our little things, and we actually got into a couple of fist fights. And the older I got, I realized like no matter what, that's still my pops. I'm always gonna love him. I know he loves me. And now that I'm a grown man and I got my own family, I understand that we go through different things in life, and some things knock us down, but it's not about the fall down, it's about the get up part. It's about how tall you stand, and you just gotta have faith and do everything with your chest out. And so, but now we got a good relationship. We don't have the father and the son relationship. We're more like friends, but I'm cool with that. I'd rather have him in my life than not have him at all.
Right. Right. That's what you got to look at. Like you have them here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I always try to find I always trying to find the positive in every negative situation.
yeah, yeah. How about your kids? Do they have a relationship with your pops?
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, we always have family gatherings, and my pops, they know that, they know him as grandpa, and he's good. He's getting up there in age, but he lived a long life, man. I'm surprised he's still with us.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. That's a blessing, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but through your journey now, obviously becoming a man, you're working, doing all that, a father. Where's that next stage where like obviously I don't know, you went back to school, you did some things to become, to get your credentials. So when did all that come into place?
So let's see. I graduated college 2 years ago. And now I'm in a master's program right
Congrats,
now.
homie.
And so I'm trying to right now I'm trying to transition into being a gang counselor, working with the kids at because a lot of people who watch my channel, I always talk about working with the kids, and even though I do work with elementary kids, like I feel like they're not my audience. And what I mean by that is like my audience that I'm trying to target is the older kids, middle school, teenage, because they are the kids who are just finding their identity, and you know they're trying to figure out which route they want to play sports, or they want to gangbang, or they want to do whatever it is. And so I want to work with them kids that are getting into the gang life, because it's important that, because a lot of these kids, what they're looking for is attention, and they're looking for a way out. And I get the whole camaraderie thing, because I hung around with them kind of boys back in the day as well, and a lot of them, it's just they're missing something at home. They need to fill that void. And so working with the school district, what I like about it is you can always elevate. You don't got to get stuck in the same position. you know. And so working towards being a gang counselor, I really don't need to go to college, because the degree that I got right now, I'm fit for it. But I'm just trying to teach my kids, like, continue your education, And sometimes it's all about money. It's about, you got to love what you do, go to work every day and grind. And so that's my motto. And a lot of these kids, like I said earlier, when you could relate to them and you could share your experiences, you can help them, and they gravitate towards you easily.
Let me ask you this though, being that you want to be a gang counselor, do you feel like, I mean, how do you like, well, I want to say this, like, do you feel you have to be in touch, or like, to deal with gang members, you have to, know what's going on, like you said, relate to them. You know what I mean? Do you think you qualify for that? Being that you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Some people are gonna say or ask you.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, because I've been around them my whole life. Like, so, my brother, he was a gang member. My uncles, my pops, and going, like, one thing about me when I was growing up in school, sixth grade all the way up to high school, I hung around with everybody. I knew Northerners, I knew Southerners, I knew Bloods, I knew Crips, and I don't know if you knew this, but I'm half Puerto Rican. So
I didn't know that, but I can see it now as you say it. But I know I didn't know that, brother.
yeah, so I hung around with a lot of the brothers back in the day.
Right.
And so like,
I knew you had some soul and something in you, dog. I knew it was something there. I knew it.
yeah. So I knew, so I seen it. My brother put me onto it and he schooled me. So I seen it. But as far as, like, being in that actual gang life, I never experienced it. But I've been around it enough to know, you know, and a lot of the people that I work with, they struggle working with these kids because they don't come from that environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's easy to say, yo, I got a college degree. I can help these kids, and I'm like, no, you can't, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know how to transition and move, and you don't know how to, get to these kids and get to the root of the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's easy a lot of these people that I work with, they like to judge. They see a kid wearing red or blue, they're like, oh, this is gang related, or this kid is gang related.
Right.
It's not necessarily that, but we live in a different time where a lot of people are sensitive and judgmental.
Right. Wow. And profiled, you know what I mean? Easily.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's almost like legal to be profiled. Oh,
yeah, it's crazy, But times change. Times definitely changed from when we grew up. I don't know, how old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
Okay, so I just hit 41.
Okay.
So it's times definitely changed for real.
Oh, they definitely have changed, brother, for sure.
And these kids are disrespectful, let me tell you.
Yeah, real disrespectful. They don't give a F. None.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. And see, and working with high school kids, man, like, they'll test you, they'll get in your face, they'll knuckle up, like, what you want to do, and
Exactly.
you
That's
gotta just take it. You gotta just take it.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. I'm glad you said that with these kids, because some people, like you said, will let them provoke them, and they about to fight. Next thing you know, and these kids is all for that, But you can't. You got to be the one that knows, like you said, how to handle that situation and not let it get there.
Yep.
So I agree with you, brother. After hearing your you know what I mean. I don't know what you call it. Your
Testimony.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, as far as the gang thing, the gang counselor, I see exactly what you're saying. I definitely think, man, you can fill that position, bro. You know what I mean? If I was the people, I would hire you right now. Like, you got it, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like my boss, because my boss, and shout out to the white folks. I'm not taking a personal shot. We all gotta have white friends, right?
Definitely.
But my the majority of the staff I work with, they're white, and they'll ask me, like, hey, I'm not trying to profile this kid or be judgmental, but I see that they were coming in here every day, flamed out, wearing red or wearing all blue. Does this mean anything, or is this something that we should watch out for? And I said, it's usually a pattern. If you see them, wearing a certain color every day, or you look in their IEP, and you'll find it. But I'm like, just because they're wearing a certain color don't mean they're gang banging. I said maybe they just feel like wearing red or blue that day. Now, if they're coming to school dressed like that every single day, and there's behavior behind it, and then you catch them with weapons and they're fighting, then yeah. But you can't just go based off of you know, off of how you feel that day.
Right. And you said some important things, like you said, knowing how to identify. You know what I mean? Like you said, you will know. You know a young dude that's what he's doing, like opposed to just wearing a color. You know his pattern. You know his get down. You know what I mean? So you peep that, and that's something, like you said, important, because the average person or counselor, like you said, white guy wouldn't know those patterns. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could
Yeah.
talk to the whatever you're gonna do as a counselor. So I agree. I agree. Yep. Elliot said it's tough. Visionz. I work with behavior challenged kids for 17 years.
Oh yeah. So she knows. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's you know what? It's tough. And some days, I got some days at work where I just want to walk out, brother. I ain't gonna lie. But
Right.
but it's just you gotta have thick skin for this kind of work, because like you said, you gotta have patience. You gotta have a lot of patience. And some of them, they're gonna put you to the test, you know. But all you gotta do is motivate them a lot, because what I found out is a lot of them, they just want attention. They just want to be loved, and as I get, like, they all call me at work an authority figure, because I'm tough on kids. I'm all about tough love. I'm strict, I'm firm, but it's because I'm trying to teach them a lesson.
Right.
I'm not mean just because I'm trying to be an asshole that day. But then a lot of them gravitate, and see, and a lot of one of the biggest things for me is, like, it's one of the pluses for me working with these kids is, like you said earlier, you complimented my fashion tip, right?
Right.
So, I like to dress, and I like to have, the nicest kicks, and so they see that, and they're like, like, I like your kicks, and they'll show up with Jordans. And so those are kind of the relationships that we start the foundation to build, and then I'll start gravitating towards them, like, hey, like, okay, that's just an icebreaker for the conversations. And it's dope, man. And, like, you'll see, the more they gravitate towards you, or vice versa, you start to build positive relationships. And then you start working on, okay, listen, I've been seeing these behaviors out here. You guys think I ain't watching, but I'm watching. And and then, like, I get to look at their IEP. So if you guys worked in it, if anyone's working education, it's in the chat. And IEP is a individualized education plan. So kids that got they struggle with behaviors, they put together a certain plan or intervention so that this kid can succeed. And I seen that you hit on the comment earlier, consistency, and that's exactly what you got to be. You got to be consistent in this line of work. You know, you got to be consistent, and it's just certain tools as you navigate to be successful.
Right. Right. Much love, Floyd. Um, and two, like you just spoke on, with the kids, building that, bridge, icebreakers, conversations, and just them being able to look at you and relate, because see, they see, I already have yeah. What up, Emilio? Um, the kids relating to you and looking at someone like yourself, and like you said, like seeing how fly you are and all that, and they can see that in a positive person, opposed to seeing that in just the dude around the corner or whatnot. And they think that's the only way they can see a young fly guy like yourself, but it's still authority person, but in a positive light, and say, damn, he's just like me. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah. And and as I get to know the students more, you know, I'll pull them, because a lot of them, like I said, they want attention. But I talk to them, and I ask them. I said, hey, listen, if you don't feel comfortable talking to the principal, or if you don't feel comfortable talking to your teacher, just pull me aside, and let's talk. And they'll share some things with me. Now, in my position, I'm considered a mandated reporter. So if they tell me something that's disturbing, or if I find this alarming, I got to report it, because it could be potentially saving this child's life.
Right.
And I do see a lot of things, and it is heartbreaking at the same time. But um, They just want to know that you care. And a lot of the kids, they straight up tell me like, I don't feel loved at home. I don't got no attention. I said, well, check this out, little man. If you don't feel loved at home or at school, um, I love you. I'll show you some love. And it's cool. And that's all they want. And then little by little, you see their behavior start to change in a good way. That's the rewarding part for me.
Right.
And so,
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was reading Elia's. She said, "Do y'all have mental health services incorporated in the classroom?" That makes a difference as well. Yeah. We do have psychologists on our campus, and so and then they provide resources, to their families, and it's important when the families are involved as well, versus just sending your kid because a lot of things that I see most of the time is a lot of these kids are family members, moms or pops or grandma, whoever they live with. They're not really involved in the kid's life, because now, and I shared this on Jen's channel. A lot of these kids, they go home. What do parents do? They just throw them in a corner with a device and go do your own thing. And that's what's wrong with a lot of these kids. Social media is just tearing them up.
Right. But shit, that's tearing up everybody. Tearing up
everybody.
Parents,
everybody.
The parents in the room on her device too, or his device.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. Social media just, I shared with my kids. I said, listen, when I was your guys' age, we didn't have no TikTok, no Snapchat, no YouTube. We was outside playing on bikes and lighting trash and shit on the fire and lighting trash on fire in the backyard. At least that's what I was doing.
I was with you up to there, but I'm with you.
We were stealing bikes. We were stealing bikes or taking the tires off or something.
Right. So we was doing something for sure.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But it's just trying to find a balance. One thing I struggle with, not myself but other educators that work in in the same field that I do, is our goal is to be involved in this kid's life and make them our number one priority. But when they go home, parents they're neglecting them, they don't care. So that's what we struggle with. Is look, we're doing our part here at school. You need to do your part at home. But I ain't gonna lie. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of these parents, they look at school as it's pretty much a daycare. We spend more time with their kids than they do.
Right. That's a fact. But also I know, like say when I was growing up, I didn't get any but my mom, was always working. Or my dad when I was with him, they were always working. So. But so we didn't get help with homework, any of that shit, bro. But they still expected you to have good grades and shit.
Yeah, and see now, and check this out, G. And now the crazy part is like I remember when I was in school, if you weren't passing, you get held back.
Yeah,
like I never got held back, but I know I got friends that had to repeat first grade, second grade. Now they changed. They changed this. They passed a law some years back called "No Child Left Behind." So it don't matter how much a child is struggling, they're gonna pass them on. And then now with the after the pandemic, it set a lot of these kids back academically. So I mean, I got fourth grade students that I work with that are reading and writing at a kindergarten level. It's crazy.
Thanks. Oh, someone else was starting fires too, man. Shout out to Big Spanks, man.
Shout out to Spanks. That's crazy. I didn't start that,
man. You fire starters. Hey,
bringing the heat. We was bringing the heat at a young age.
Hey, but dealing with these kids though, like you said, do you think I was going to ask you, I guess it'll be a two-part question. Do you think, obviously you don't because you want to be a counselor, but in this day and time we're in, man, a lot of these kids, man, are just, it's a different level right now, man, to even want to, even try to, go against it and hope it could be changed. But do you see any, I don't know. I don't want to say any change. That would be, you can't say that, but what do you see? Where do you see first of all, the kids like right now, where do you see that going? Because we don't have enough. We only have one of you. I'm sure it's more out there, but man, it's a lot of these kids right now, bro. That they on a whole nother level, bro. I be seeing the most with these kids these days, bro. And like you said, zero respect. And it's not that they won't have it for you, but it's something they already have at an early age now, which is no respect because how they're being raised and brought up. So, what do you think about that? And have you seen any changes with some of the kids you've dealt with as they've grown up and you've seen them grow?
You know what? To be honest, first let me say this, and like I hope nobody takes this personal, or if anybody that's watching that works in this field. Our school system across the board. I'm not just talking about in Cali, but in all across the U.S. Our school system is broken. It's broken. And I think when we get the right people in place, like the right leaders to provide more resources for these kids. Like I was talking to somebody recently, the last few months actually, I've been collaborating with this person, and she works at an employment connection. And so I walked in one day and I said, hey, like I work with kids. I've been working with these kids for years. So I want to collaborate. Like what can we do to what can we do to provide some resources for kids? Because I feel like if you just send a kid over here and not explain nothing to them, only but here's some help. Well, what kind of help? I might need mental health services. I might need services to look for a job. So, anyways, what I told her, I said, let's collaborate and let me take some of these kids who want to learn a trade and let's direct them over here. But let me go with them. Let me explain the situation to these people. And if the parents want to get involved, like that's cool. But the hard part, but now there's a roadblock because a lot of these kids are on probation, and so now you got to jump to different loopholes with the probation officer because they want to be, they want to be involved in their lives, and they might say, nah, this ain't for this kid. It's so it is a lot of loopholes. It is a challenge, but I'm gonna keep continuing to do that, and I'm gonna push that. And hopefully one day, in this community that I live in, we can build some type of after school, because every school district, I don't know how it is down there, bro. It might be the same, but your school's down there. You live in LA, right down there?
That's where I went to school. I'm not living there now, but yeah, that's where I was raised. The school system, yes.
Okay, so where, like, you don't have to say where, but wherever you're at now, do they have after school programs for kids?
No,
Okay. See, where I'm at over here, we have after school programs.
I've heard they've mainly been taken out over the years. They've all been like, you know,
Yeah, like, and they're starting to get rid of them because they're talking about budget. Listen, these schools, they got so much money, and they ain't coming out and saying it, but they do got money. Because I know a lot of people that work higher ups in the district office, and they got money. But I feel like instead of having these kids stay longer, because it's bad enough they're at school for 6 hours a day. And
right,
then they got to stay at these after school programs till mom or pop or whoever they live with picking them up. So instead of doing that, let's build some type of resource center where we can educate them. Um, you know, it could be mental health services there. It could be a variety of things, but it's not going to happen if you don't got the right people in place and people that share those same, they're like minded. That's
right.
my goal. That's my goal because I believe it could benefit. Because I remember when I was younger, elementary school, we had this place. It was called Teen City, and it was for like middle school all the way to high school. And you go there, they got games, they got food because some kids they don't eat. The only meal they get
The
is the only time they're at school. And so and this place, they fed you, they played games, they taught you how to they helped you with reading or writing, whatever it was you were struggling in. They had those resources there for you.
hey,
But they're gonna say, "Oh, it's money. We ain't got enough money. Nah, y'all got money."
hey, that's what I was gonna ask you next. Speaking like you said, a lot of these schools and places have money, but if the people, that's another thing, the community, a lot of times the people of the community don't press the issue, don't go out there, whatever PTA or school board or community, what they call that, count meetings, when they have the
Yeah,
people.
like board meetings and all that.
Yeah, so the people don't do that, and I think that's a big problem. I think too in a lot of the inner cities, even while you see a lot of things aren't done, roads fixed, a lot of small things that probably could be done, but people don't press it. So it's a lot of money they're probably not even knowing that's there, and people are just spending it. The people, whoever, you know what I mean?
Right. And to answer that question, and so like you said earlier, there's only one of me, and I'm trying to find the right people to like, hey, we share the same idea, we share the same vision. Let's stop talking and let's make it happen.
Hey, and like Pearl said, we had a boys and girls club back in the day. We had boys and girls club, YMCA. YMCS where I learned to swim at. You know what I mean? So we had different things, but I don't know if they have all those things. I don't see any YMCA, or maybe they do. And then another thing is, how do we get back connected with these kids? Like, it has to start early. A lot of times there may be stuff there, but these kids don't want to do that now. Like, they're already, now these kids, they were already way advanced. Like, I mean, we did crazy shit, bro, but you know what I mean? I wasn't smoking weed at 9 years old, I don't think, bro. You know what I mean? So these kids on a different level right now.
Oh, I was 10 at 10 years old. I was smoking weed.
Yeah, I didn't smoke weed that early. You know what I mean? I don't think. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but okay,
I
well,
think it's gonna take a lot more. Like it's gonna take a lot more leadership. I always believe in leadership. It's gonna take a lot of people. Um, I feel like the people. I feel like this. If you got kids in your classroom that are struggling, or if you're a parent and you say, "Hey, my kid is struggling. They need some more resources. Where can we go?" And parents need to attend these board meetings because it's
that's
for
the
the community. Get
but,
involved.
but that's the thing. That a lot of these parents aren't involved and maybe don't know how, or maybe don't have time. Like, how? Because sometimes they're not pushed. They're not motivated to do those things.
Right. Like I know my school district, like we send out every school will send out emails to every parent. So as long as you got a student who's attending school, they'll send out emails and they'll say, here's a board meeting at this time. The public's welcome to show up, voice your opinions. But people ain't, like you said, you can't push these parents to go. So I look at it like this: if it's like, if you don't vote, you ain't got a right to say what's going on in the country.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I always say that
even
too.
even
I
in the
say,
workplace,
I say
people
that.
complain in the workplace. Well, speak up, speak your mind. Pull administration to the side and say, listen, here's the problems that we need fixing, and let's get to it. But a lot of people don't want to speak. They'll talk a good one, but they ain't about it, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a fact. I always say that too. If you ain't, you can't talk if you ain't putting in the work, or doing nothing. Like you said, vote, or can't complain about all the shit like I hear people doing. They don't vote. You know what I mean? So not to say that's wrong or right, but I don't think you have a right to, have the biggest argument either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yep.
yeah, that's a fact. That's facts. Facts. What do you think? So 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 with the kids, you do see, obviously you see it getting better, or like, how do you think we can make that better? Because obviously it has to start real. You have to start real early now, because the kids are so advanced. But like I said, by the time they're 9 years old, they on a different level. Especially now, I think it's going to get more and more, because it's technology and things, right? Is raising the kids different too as well. I mean, you could be a parent all you want, but this technology is just like,
It's
you know what
messing
I
them up.
mean? Yeah, and it's taking.
Like, and that's funny that you said that. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. So, like me, like I don't know about I can't speak for other school districts, but in my district, like they don't really send homework home anymore. That's what I'm saying. The education system is failing. Like they don't send homework home no more. Everything's done like on the computer. Kids ain't gonna get on the computer. I mean, we got kids at my school. Instead of them doing the work, they're in the corner watching YouTube videos. Some of them are watching porn, and
Yeah, yeah. And soon they do so much on the computer. soon I don't think kids are gonna know how to like write anymore, like
That's
cursive and
that's that's why
that.
they're behind. You
Learn
know, I
too.
mean, like when I was in school, you had to write all day.
Yeah, that's
You know,
becoming
so I think like this technology is they're gonna have to look at it all across the board in every state and say this is gonna be a problem.
but it's already
You know?
too. But I think it's already too far gone. Like this. Ooh, I don't know, man. The shit they're doing and the shit they're starting to do, this AI stuff and all that, man. Man, I know they're saying how great that is, but I'm really that's really what I'm not like this AI stuff, bro, because they could do some things with that, bro, and I think that could
Right.
really put a glitch in the matrix for sure, homie.
Right. And too, you know, and this is like I was just talking about this with one of my boys the other day. I said, like, you know, because we was talking about, you know, the school system and how it's failing and how a lot of these kids are just, you know, they're on a different level.
Right,
And a lot of them, I mean, what do most teenagers do? They spend their time on social media. So, like as far as YouTube goes, or, you know, it could be any social media platform. Let's educate the youth, you know, instead of, cause you know, you got some of these content creators, um, getting on here
yeah,
talking all
that
that
bullshit.
trauma. You know what I mean? Like, let's teach
All
them
day,
something.
but see, that's another thing because that I never thought I'd see it, but that's what's going on now to where that's where all the attention goes to. It's like people want to see that, you know what I mean? That gathers all the attention and it's taking over like now. Like all you see is negative. Like when you go on now, like YouTube or whatever, like 80% of that shit is negative, dog. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's cornball. It's corny shit. And that's why, you know, I told Jen, I said, listen, I don't like mingling with a lot of these folks on here because, you know, I look at myself as cool. I'm fly. I don't want to be around corny people. I don't want that. I don't need to be around that kind of energy.
Riff raff, as they call it.
Yeah.
Riff.
You know, it's crazy. But I feel like if we had a lot more people, you know, like myself and you and Big D, and it's a lot of dope people on here that got good content and positivity. And while we're on that, you know, I don't want to take over real quick, bro. I just want to give you your flowers because um I think you're dope at what to do. You know, you got a good platform. And
Thank you.
you know, when we talk about black and brown uniting, I think that's where you play a huge part in YouTube because you know, like you said, you know, we're not too far in age.
Right,
Um, and growing up, you know, our race, we had tensions with one another, and that's what I like about you is that you bring everybody together with with music. I mean, who don't like music?
right,
You know what I'm saying? Music brings everybody together and it's a dope place and everyone's always like positivity. Like I don't ever see nobody on your platform hating on one another. And if they do, they're gonna get their ass kicked out.
right. Facts.
You
Uh,
know? So I think if a lot of us, you know, collaborated more and just brainstorm and put our minds together, like how can we help these youth succeed? You know, because a lot of them, if they're failing in school, you gotta like get down to the source. So what's the problem? Like where are they failing at? You know, there has to be some kind of distraction.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So if they're gonna spend most of the time on social media, then let's put out some content for them. Not content, but let's provide some resources that gravitate and that catch their mind. Because a lot of them, let's be honest, they get on here, they want to see who's beefing with who today. Ain't nobody want to hear that shit.
Facts. And like you said, it starts with us older, you know, uh G's homie to teach them, or at least if you can't teach them, don't, you know, feed into it. You know, don't put gasoline on it. And I think that's what a lot I'm sad to see a lot of people like my age and even older, you know what I mean? That's what they're pushing on the internet all day, man. You know, and it's all for the views because that view now, like it's almost like the streets have the street. It's almost like reverse. The streets are on YouTube now online. They're figuring it out. A lot of them are new to it. They like, oh shit, you feel me? And it takes over like a drug, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
to be quite honest, it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
You know, like I've been on YouTube for, you know, a little over a year, almost 2 years. And when I first got on, when I first got on YouTube, um, I started to see um, how people move, and they start turning on one another. It's a lot of snakes on here,
Yeah.
and
You
and
see,
I won't say this person's name, but she put me up early. She said, "Listen, I think you got potential to have a big platform on YouTube. You just got to be consistent." And just stay away from all the drama and the snake shit. And as I started getting more subs, I realized, like, damn, these people are really out here just turning on each other and just doing like corny shit. And so I stay away. It's only certain people that I rock with on YouTube, and I'm cool with that. I don't need to be over here on this person's platform listening to them. Go back and forth with the same person. Like if you're gonna wake up and do a video every day about the same person, like what that say about you?
right, right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. What's going on YouTube, man? People are just drawn into that because I think I don't know, they like that. I don't know, whatever it brings attention, but yeah, that's it's sad. That's what we have for entertainment. You know what I mean? Um, but it's the truth. But like you said, man, it always starts with people, like yourself, like you said, man. I appreciate that. I respect that because I'm the same way. I don't like to be caught up in drama, a lot of BS drama, unnecessary drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey, man, we
we're
got
too old. We're too old for that.
that. We should know better at this point. And I know sometimes it's hard to get caught up, but that's why you don't let yourself get caught up because that's all these negative people want to do is get you caught up. A lot of times they ain't about it like that anyway, homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's all for the content, as they
that's
say.
it. It's just all for views and likes, and they ain't even built like that. Like I've met two YouTubers who have I met two content creators. Um, they got a big platform, and I've met them, in the last year, and they're exactly who they are on camera, and I respect that about them. You know, it's dope. You got to carry yourself. Conduct yourself as a professional, and be true to yourself and who you are.
Right, right. Yeah. Facts, facts, facts. And just man, we gonna do better, you know what I mean? And that's why I always I come on here and I say, I try to always just give out positivity. Not to say I'm just none of that, but we have to we at least have to put that out, man. I'm never gonna come and put out no negativity and hate on this person, none of that. You know what I mean? Nah.
Yeah, because it's bad enough that um, we got people watching us. You know what I'm saying? We got people watching us, and that's what they want to see. They want to see us divided, and they want to see us tearing each other down. But I'm trying to surround myself with people who are going to uplift and support one another, and just be successful together. It's plenty of knowledge out here to share. There's money out here we can all get it. We ain't got to be selfish and ungrateful and be bitter. You
Right,
know, but
right.
misery loves company, man. And there's people who just wake up every day and they thrive on being just negative people. And if that's your thing, that's cool. But just don't bring that shit around me. That's
That's
how
what
I look at it.
That's what I'm saying. I got enough. So we already got enough going on to let be this other BS. What I mean, add on to whatever other real issues or real problems or struggles or whatever you have going on in real life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's all. That's it. That's all. I just pray for them. Um. So, Visionz, what's going? Let me ask you this: have you ever done? I know you do your stuff with the kids and do all that, but you seem like you maybe that. Did you ever dabble in music? You ever rap or do any other little extracurricular activities that you may have thought? You know what I mean? You
Hey,
had shot at earlier.
hey, it's funny that you say that. So when I was younger, like fifth grade, sixth grade, I used to rap with some of my friends at school. And so I did. I don't like to name drop, but there was somebody on YouTube who I did an interview with one day,
Okay.
and well, it wasn't an interview; it was just a little sit down, and we were just chopping it up, and so he asked me what was my take on what the Mexican culture, what we view as Chicano rap.
Okay.
And I voiced my opinion. I said I'm not a fan of it.
Mm.
I'm just like when I think of Chicano rap, I think of Kid Frost. I
Yeah.
think of Lighter Shade of Brown. Like to me, it's hip hop. All these other cast of people like mentioned, like all these new dudes that I'm hearing about, like I don't know none of them, and I just it doesn't impress me. But to answer your question, when I was younger, we used to freestyle, and believe it or not, that was like a goal of mine. Like I wanted to be a rapper. Um, but I was doing other things in the street, and so
Right.
that kind of distracted me from wanting to do that. But yeah, I would have probably been great at it.
I can see that in you. I'm like, I wonder, did he ever like do music? You look like you could, you know what I mean? You could rapper.
you
He did
know,
the
but
name is
what's funny
that's
though. I'm not gonna lie.
Visions.
Um, I've been
You sound
one.
you sound like a rapper.
Huh?
I said you sound like a rapper already, E Visions.
I ain't gonna lie. One thing that I think about from time to time is, if I wasn't working with kids, or if I did have a hobby, I'd probably go into acting school,
Right.
try to get in that kind of scene. You know.
That's, yeah, I can see that too. I can see that too.
Yeah, I
I
think I got the swag to do it.
I can see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got that look. No, what they say now. They even say no Diddy now. So
They say no Diddy. Yeah, no Diddy.
none of that bullshit. Real talk though. My uncle's a fly young man. You know what I mean? So I can see you doing the acting thing, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I might give it a shot. Who knows?
Yeah. Elias
You gotta
Elias
you gotta have more
bars.
than one word, though. Spit some
Elias
bars. Oh
bars.
no. Yeah, they gonna make a meme out of me tonight.
I don't know. We tried Elias. Put him on the spot. Okay, yes, he can do it. Yep, that's right. So what's the future for eVisions, man? What can we see, man, moving forward?
um, you know what? So like when I was talking to Jen recently, she asked me kind of what the same thing is and what is my goal, my plan. And I do want to still reach out to the youth and hopefully be able to put myself in a position where we can teach them, about real estate, taxes, and building credit, things of that nature. Because let's be honest, a lot of things that they're teaching them in school are pointless.
Man,
You know,
hold
it's a
on,
lot of subjects.
hold on, man. That right there is one of the most important things you said, because I know even when we're talking about the educational system has failed, when are they going to update the educate? Well, I can't say, I'm not like, I've been in school for years, right? But I know that it's not gotten any better, like you said, for the most part, especially in the inner cities. Maybe of course, the private schools and the real rich schools, I'm sure it's good. But I mean, overall, updating the educational system where now, like you said, they're preparing them for the real world, bro, especially now. You know what I mean? Like you said, taxes and credit and things of that nature. We weren't taught about any of that, man.
No, we were taught about, they taught us about sex, and look where that got us. Well, I can't speak for you, but
I had a kid early too, brother, at 17,
you
turning
know,
8.
it had me doing, but no, I think it's important that they need to switch these leaders that are in charge, they need to switch that up because, um, like I know you and Big D was talking about that recently, financial literacy.
Yeah,
And it was crazy. Like I was watching that episode when y'all was chopping it up on here, and you guys would have had showed that video of that teacher who was teaching her third grade students how to pay rent.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I had seen that. It's crazy because I had seen that video like earlier in the day, and then I jumped in the comments and I said, "Hey, I seen this video," and then you were like, or some people in the comments were like, "Oh, he posted that already," and
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's a good thing because
I remember.
um, like you people like these kids need to be like she said, teach them financial literacy because by most people by the time they hit 25, they're already in debt because the credit card is nobody taught them how to manage that. No one taught them how to be responsible with their money. Because I mean, at some point, like people get, young people, they get a hold of money. Like for example, let's look at the athletes. They're young guys who got a hell of a talent, and then they just waste it because they don't have nobody there to teach them how to be have a structural foundation with their money.
Right.
And then you got people who don't know how to do taxes, and if they do them, they got somebody fucking them over. So to me, those things are important. So, but for like just like myself, it's just trying to find the right people that have that same mindset and that same vision as me. Um, but a lot of people, that I come in contact with, and I share these ideas, bro. They look at me and they're like, who is this dude? And it's because they're looking at me from a judgmental point of view. And it's like I could probably teach you some shit that you don't even know.
Right. Right.
But to answer your question fairly, that is one of my goals. I'm just trying to find um the right people that I can lay that foundation with. And when you put great minds together, man, the things are limitless that you can accomplish.
Facts. Hey, you know what, too, man? That's a great thing I just thought about. I mean, I don't know if you've already thought about this, but things that you can do with your channel more. Like I know you're limited, you tap in every now and then, but I think it's a void, man, that you could fill, because even with you, I think you can be, and I know this, like you said, you fall back, you do your thing, but can be a great content creator. But it's finding your way, your lane, without, like, I already know you don't want to be in all that, and it's a certain way you want to present yourself, and things you want to do. But I think that would be a great lane for you to tap into, of what we were just speaking about, how you can come on and speak about these things, you know what I mean, and build with people and have these conversations, man, that people will want to tap into and learn from grown men. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's that's one of my goals is it's just is consistency. Because like if I didn't go to work every day, because I do love my job. I don't go to work because I mean, I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. Um,
Right.
but if I dedicated my time, if I quit my job this week and I said I'm gonna just dedicate my time on YouTube and go full force, I could have a platform as big as some of these people out here. You
Right.
know what I mean? But um, I love my job, man. I love what I do, and I feel like these kids, like they need me and I need them. You know what I mean? But it's just being more consistent, to be honest, and just trying to find the right people that I can surround myself with, so that we can do these things. You know,
Yeah.
but you got to lead. You also got to lead by example, and just block out all the other shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a fact. And I feel the same way, because a lot of times I want to do more, but I think it's, I come in and do, I just come in and do what I need to do, bro. And then, I'm out. Like you say, we got stuff, to do too. It's not a full time, and I don't think, I think that's what's going on now, that people have committed themselves to that, but they're committing it to the wrong, what I mean, thing. So now it's flooded with the bullshit, and they're making more and more videos because, okay, it's feeding the algorithm or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, which is cool. But like you said, I'm like that too, to where I just come in and do what I need to do, and go back in the cut, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. And see, and I'm looking like I'm always a person who's observing. I'm always, I'm just always just kind of peeping from the side. And I see a lot of these people that are monetized, and they ain't really getting money like that, man. You know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on anybody whose channel is monetized. Um, but do it in the right way and give back.
Yeah.
Do it from your heart. Like, you see people, it's supposed to be a good deed. But I feel like when you put it on camera and you're out there promoting it, it's not really a good deed. Like if you're gonna do it, do it from the heart. If you're gonna give back, do it from the heart. You know what I mean? And so, it's just I'm just trying to find I'm still trying to find my lane and what works for me.
Hey, let me ask you this, E. Do you think people, because I'm thinking about this now, right? And I know you even spoke on earlier how you seen people, just as I have as well. People come into this shit, they fall out, they be go at all in the midst of this content, right? So do
Right.
you even some people come in with the right idea or the right like motives, you know what I mean? And then they get sucked into this shit, or they gather a little fame or some views or some likes or some subscribers, and next thing you know, their channel is popping and they just switch up, they go YouTube Hollywood on us. Like, what do you think it is, man?
It's one word, man. It's called clout.
Wow.
It's a hell of a drug.
Wow.
It's a hell of a drug. You know what I
Wow.
mean? But like I said, like I watch shit. I watch people and how they move, and like it's funny, because um, I remember there was a content creator who had, everybody wanted to be on this person's platform, and then eventually I said this is gonna end bad for these people, right? And it did. But I think people jump into this shit not knowing they're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And those 15 minutes of fame, where did it get you?
Boy. Yeah, and it's so crazy because you see this some of the stuff you see play out. You get to really see it in real time play out. Where you will be hearing this one, and you'll be like, it ain't gonna end good, or you already know it's gonna be bad, and then you see it actually play out.
Yeah, and you can't do nothing but laugh, because you've seen it, and you keep listen. We're gonna continue to see it, and you can school people like. Shout out to Brenda Love. Let me tell you something about Brenda, man. Brenda, along with yourself and Jen and House, and shout out to there's a lot of good people on here. But when I first got on YouTube, Brenda, she said, I like your channel, E, and me and her, we had a few phone conversations, and she pretty much put me up on game and let me know, like, hey, you got a good channel and you got potential. Just don't get into this shit. Don't dive in head first without knowing. Just you got to watch how you move and watch how other people move. And and so I got a lot of love and respect to her, and she's really helped me with my channel. I've had a lot of people with the big following on YouTube that have asked me, like, yo, E, like, let me help you with the channel. And I said, thank you, but I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. Because it's always that one person that eventually gonna throw some shit back in your face.
They're gonna use it
You know?
against you. They're
Yeah.
gonna
And so I say, listen, if I'm gonna build my channel, it's gonna be because of my hard work. And I ain't got nobody, I don't got nobody to come look at me and say, I gave you this and I put you on. Nah, I'd rather put myself on. I'm cool with having 360 some subscribers, whatever it is, because I got those people, through my content and sharing my experiences, and they gravitated towards me. And I want to say thank you to all my supporters, because it's dope, and I do it for you. And if a lot of people, I always tell people, if you got a kid that's struggling, or a family member, feel free to holler at me, and any way I can, I'll help you out.
Yeah, yay.
Because
And
there's hella resources out here. It's just tapping in with the right people. That's all. It's called networking.
yeah, definitely, brother, definitely. And I thank you, man, for all. I really hope you like I was saying earlier, I would love to see that, even if you could sometimes do some segments on that where you're speaking about this and talking to the kids, and like I said, you'll be talking to, I'm sure, a greater lot of people like will tune into that and want to learn and just have those conversations, man, because they're not being had. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So
Yeah. And like I said, man, if you got any ideas, bounce them off me. And, we can collaborate together too, because you got a huge following as well. And I like what you and Big D have been doing. And it's dope because a lot of us have to have more conversations. And I think once, like you said, it has to be an algorithm. And instead of these kids watching, who's beefing with who, well, let me teach you something, youngster, about educating yourself, and that way we can prepare you and give you the tools that you need to head off into the future.
right, facts. That's a fact. Once again, people, Visionz, he told you everything going on. Tell the people how they could tap in with you, brother. If we got, from the kid listening right now that may see this later and say, I like that guy, man. I could connect with him and I mean, love to work with him, whether they're in your area or not. How can they get in contact with you? Or if there's a mother or father wants to tap in with you, bro, or whoever, how can they get at you?
Yeah, so they can hit me on my YouTube channel, eVisionz TV. I do have an Instagram, eVisionz, just like a spell right here up on the screen. You can DM me. I'm not a person who likes to throw my phone number out there, because there's
Nah,
too
I
many
would.
weirdos out here. But no, they can find, like, I'm always I try to respond to all my messages as long as it's positive. I'm not with the trolling and shit. But yeah, they can find me on my YouTube channel, or my Instagram is eVisionz.
There it is right there, y'all. And check out again, shout out to Jim Magana, Convicted Hearts. Check out his interview he did with them. It was a dope interview, in-depth interview. Shout out to Convicted Hearts. Also. So yeah, and follow, we have all his links in the chat. Follow his YouTube channel, IG, whatever else he got going on. All that is there. Big Spanks, thank you. Shout out to everyone in the chat who joined us tonight. Show love, Keisha. Thank you. Big Spanks, Pearl, thank you for the super chat. Who else? Someone else gave a super chat. Thank you though. Oh, Jim Magana, Convicted Hearts. Thank you. Shout out.
Shout out to Jim.
Yep. Ulysses. Thank you. Elia Delgado. Whoever else I missed, man. Thank you. Eddie, the homie Eddie Wilson was in the chat. Much love to you, bro. Emilio was in the chat. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. Once again, Visionz, our special guest, man. Incredible. I don't like to say interview, conversation, man. You know what I mean? Got to learn some things about you. Got to get some knowledge on some things, and
Yeah,
sure.
we've been missing each other, man. We've been trying to do this for a minute, and our conflicts, our scheduling was in the big conflict. So when DD, and shout out to DD, she hit me the other day, and I said, and you know what, and I got to be honest, man. My week started out shitty. It's still shitty. Monday was I just got hit with some bad news, and so I've had a rough week. But I said, I need to surround myself right now with some positive people, man. And so I didn't want to cancel, because we've been trying to do this for a minute. So
Right.
thank you, brother, because you got a dope platform and it's all positivity. And so I needed that tonight, man. For sure.
Hey, like you say, man, sometimes we don't know what's going on, because I've actually, people wouldn't know, but I've actually had a rough week myself, bro. Like, for real, bro. But it's like, I always, even just hours ago, I was just like, for a minute, a little, I don't like to say depressed, but just a little down, because it just, the week beat me up. And, so, but you still, I got to pick myself up, and I know God got me, homie. He never leaves me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, you got to keep your faith, man. You got to keep your faith.
yeah, yes, sir. So I picked that up, man, and put a I'm ready, chest out, you know what I mean, chin up, you know what I mean, and ready to go, you know what I mean. So thank you as well, bro, because I've had a rough week myself, man, and I understand, bro. But thank you for coming on the platform. I know we've been trying to do this, and I got to come on your platform. We're gonna, make some things happen.
Yeah, I was just gonna tell you that I need to get your mind, because besides educating the youth and kicking a positive message, I love talking about sports and music too, man. Like but I'm a big fan of music and hip hop, and so I've been and I've been doing my research on you, man, lately, and so we're gonna have a dope interview, man. But just let me know when you got the time, and we'll chop it up.
For sure, we're gonna
Thank
do
you,
that for
man.
sure. Shout out to Jim Magana. Check out Convicted Hearts Tuesday nights, the round table, and everything she has going on over there. Thank you, Eddie Wilson, again. Spanks, everyone. Once again, my special guest, the legendary Visionz. Yes. So we'll do this again soon, people. But thank you again for everyone who joining us. Visionz, thank you, bro, again, man, for a great conversation, brother, and taking out your time on this Friday
Yes,
night.
sir.
Really enjoyed you, bro, and I'm here for you, whatever. And like we'll we're gonna be doing some things in the future, people. So just
Yes, sir. Thank you for everybody who tapped in and continue to show your support. Subscribe to the channel and hit me with if you guys got any questions about a loved one who needs some resources or whatever the case may be. Feel free. I'm an open book. I tap in with everybody. So thank you guys. And thanks for having me on, G.
Yes, sir. That part. Shout out to my producer, DD Hairston. Don't forget tomorrow night, Conversations in the Hookah Lounge with DD. And on Sunday, we'll be back with Odie's Rule Forever Sundays. Everyone have a great weekend. If you missed anything, just go back and check the replay. It's right there. Visionz, G-Lew, we out. Peace, y'all.
Like this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. G's don't dance no more. All they do is this. Goddamn, homie, here we go again. I know I said it before, but I'ma say it again. It's G-Lew, D-West on that digital G shit. Just like Corrupted, we coming to freak this. Just like Heathcliff, I'm a cool cat. In a doggy dog world, why must I be like that? I don't know why, seems I gotta stay fly. And after so many years in the game, I'm still that guy. All they say is try, but they still can't see G. Started from the bottom, now I stand like 6 feet tall. Couldn't wait my chance to ball. Went from banging in the halls and slanging 8 balls. Then I got the call. It's time to take this shit to another level, so I had to fall back.